May we request all our guests to please settle down. Kindly put your mobiles in silent mode as we shall start in a short while. In case of an emergency, such as the occurrence of an earthquake, please stay calm. You shall be ushered by security officers indicating the library to the evacuation area. Your feedback will help us improve the Mabini dialogue. Please complete the evaluation survey through the QR code printed at the back of the program. Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, DFA and FSI officials, colleagues in public service, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the Foreign Service Institute's Mabini Dialogue, the use cases and frameworks of artificial intelligence in diplomacy. My name is 𝘑𝘌𝘍𝑒𝑎𝑙𝑒𝑥𝑎nder, and it is my pleasure to moderate today's discussion. As AI technologies continue to advance rapidly, states are increasingly integrating them into their diplomatic strategies, which cover the enhancement of decision-making in international relations and fostering innovation in the provision of consular services, among others. Recognizing this trend, the Foreign Service Institute explores the significant potential and confront the challenges of leveraging AI in Philippine diplomacy. Today's Mabini Dialogue aims to empower the Department of Foreign Affairs to harness the transformative potential of AI by equipping its policymakers and practitioners with the necessary knowledge and tools to navigate the opportunities and challenges presented by AI. This morning, we are privileged to have with us an esteemed expert, a true pioneer in the field of AI in the Philippines. As the founding chairperson of the Artificial Intelligence and Data Science Program of the University of the Philippines, Diliman, our distinguished speaker developed the first AI graduate curriculum in the country. As Assistant University Registrar for Academic Information Systems, he was instrumental in the development of the computerized registration system, which addressed UP students' registration concerns. He has also helped craft AI guidelines for the University of the Philippines, contributed to advancing AI digitalization at the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and served as a consultant for the AI roadmap of the Department of Trade and Industry. His expertise and research interests include artificial intelligence systems, business intelligence and decision support systems, big data analytics, data mining and machine learning algorithms, discrete event systems, and supply chain management, which he also imparts to graduate and undergraduate students at the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research, UP Diliman. Our resource person for today holds a Doctor of Philosophy in Industrial Engineering from the Arizona State University, a certificate in supply chain management from the same university, and a certificate in data warehousing and business intelligence from the University of California, Irvine. He also holds a master's and bachelor's degrees in industrial engineering from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Our speaker is a MathWorks certified MATLAB associate in Los Angeles, California, and a SAP ERP certified solution consultant. He was also a recipient of Fulbright Opportunity Grant Award in 2010 and adjudged Best Paper in World Congress on Engineering in 2012. He has published papers and presented them in international and local conferences. With more than a decade in the academy and a successful track record in private sector, our speaker brings an exceptional blend of AI theoretical expertise and practical insights into today's Mabini Dialogue. Your Excellencies, guests, ladies and gentlemen, let us be enlightened by the wealth of knowledge and passion for advancing AI technologies from our speaker. Please join me in welcoming Dr. 𝘍𝘍𝑒𝑙𝑒𝑥𝑎𝑙𝑒𝑥𝑎𝑙𝑒 with a warm round of applause.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Before I start, on behalf of the University of the Philippines AI program, I would like to thank the Foreign Service Institute and DFA in general for having me here. And also welcome to all participants, Your Excellencies, our partners from all over the world. Thank you for coming, and I hope I can answer your tough questions later on. Okay, on terms of AI. All right. So what I'll be discussing for this morning are basically what we see are potential use cases of AI in terms of AI in diplomacy. All right. So the outline of my talk would be as follows. I will start off defining the concepts of AI, what we from the university think AI is. Then we'll go into some use cases in AI diplomacy, and I'll also briefly talk about the AI principles that should be with us in terms of AI regulation and ethics, and as well as a brief overview of how we do AI in the University of the Philippines. So, according to this quote from Bill Gates, that humans should be worried about the threat posed by AI. Right? So I think we're all familiar with Hollywood depictions of AI, The Matrix, Terminator, that these AI systems basically take over the world and bring us judgment days. Okay, but take note that the algorithms that we have nowadays have these problems. Okay, so if we have this image and we want to classify that animal, AI would say that's a tiger. But if we add some context into it, yeah, that's simply a dog with stripes in shadows, right? So in essence, that's the state of our current AI systems. It's not really noteworthy that it'll take over the world in the next few years, but it might be. We can't really say for sure. But in essence, we should not fear AI, but we should embrace it as yet another technology that we can use to improve our day-to-day lives. Right? So from the University of the Philippines, we define AI as simply a multidisciplinary discipline in charge of designing intelligent systems that can actually perceive, reason out, formulate a decision, and act like a human being in an environment. Okay, so one of our steadfast examples of AI is the self-driving car, as well as some applications of AI in healthcare, because that's what we are really pushing. One of the better benefits of AI. Now, some misconceptions per se that I've seen, that some people say that everything that you see that is high tech is AI. But we can't really say that anything that you automate is automatically an AI. All right? For example, spell check in your spreadsheet or your document processor. Okay? So a spell check is simply an automation that looks into a dictionary and checks for that word that you have typed. So that's not necessarily AI. All right? We also note that data science is not AI. All right? A lot of people confuse data science algorithms like simple dashboards, predictive algorithms. They are data science in nature, but they can also be treated as AI. But those are two different use cases. All right. So when you say data science, you use data to make inferences about the decision, while AI is you build a system to make the decision for you. All right. And then lastly, I've seen this over the past few years when ChatGPT exploded. They say that, AI is ChatGPT, or ChatGPT is the only AI available. But lo and behold, AI has a lot of different fields, and it's just one of the disciplines that we work with AI. So ChatGPT is only a subset of AI. It's not all of the AI that you have come to think of. Okay? So going back to the Terminator analogy in my first slide, right? So general purpose AI, like robots of science fiction, is incredibly hard, right? The human brain appears to have a lot of special and general functions, and the best general function AI mimics the brain of an ant. So imagine the ant, as you can see, can gather resources, fight off invaders, and that's the primitive brain that is being automated as of today. But we don't know how much faster technology will come. But as of now, the best mind or the best AI, general purpose AI, mimics the capabilities of an ant, not a human brain. But there are a lot of special purpose AI, right? So we have image construction AI, these generative AI solutions. We have reinforcement learning AI. We have robotic AI doing manual construction or deliveries like for Amazon. Those are already available and are more widespread. Okay, so we should not confuse ourselves that AI will come up with a human being that could think on its own. It's very far away. Okay, and we have more of the second type of AI, this what we call special purpose or non-trivial AI. So why did this happen? Because of the improvements of computing power. The advent of the GPU, that's why NVIDIA from Taiwan really capitalized on this AI paradigm because of not invention. It was the use of the GPU to solve AI problems, right? Gone are the days that we look for CPUs. Now we look for GPUs. Previously, I used GPUs to play my games in computers, but now we use GPUs to solve AI problems, or sometimes called TPUs or tensor processing units. So, in essence, more emphasis is provided in the procurement of this specialized equipment to solve AI problems. And the demand of that is so high. One example is OpenAI is investing in 300,000 units of GPUs to solve their future problems. And we at in the university only have 32, 32 GPUs for games. Sorry, not for solving for academic purposes of our AI programs. Right? In 2021, before the Philippines published its AI roadmap, the Philippines is remarkably behind in terms of coming up with a national AI strategy. So when you say national AI strategy, this AI strategy gives a roadmap for the implementation of AI in different branches of government as well as in the private sector. We are lagging behind our ASEAN neighbors. And if you look at this research in 2021, 2020, from the past decade, China overtook the US in the volume of AI research. So we might end up actually paying these high income countries because they invented the AI and they own the intellectual property. Hence, we have to pay for their license to use actual AI, right? So that's a threat. So low income companies must also countries must step up to develop AI research and invent their own ChatGPTs. Because if they clamp up, then we will have to pay royalties for the use of actual AI. Right? So I think you're all familiar with ChatGPT. So with the advent of ChatGPT in November 2021, it really brought the world by storm. People are amazed by the responses that were generated. Okay? This is one of my examples to prove an inequality. Basically, it's a problem in probability, and the software was able to do that. Okay, and there are a lot of applications of large language models nowadays, and it took the world by storm. Okay, so let's talk some use cases for this type of AI. Okay, first off, we can use LLMs for language translation. All right, and Google has been doing this a long time, and yet it's still lacking. Okay, here in the Philippines, we have a lot of languages, and we still need a lot of translation internally from Cebuano, a local language, to Filipino, our national language, and hence there are a lot of research applications for this. Okay? Information retrieval. Gone are the days that we use the card catalog, or I would like to say, gone are the days that we like to use search engines to do our research. Now we have these large language models to summarize our research papers for us. All right. We can also use large language models to monitor public sentiment on a specific policy or a product or a service. These models can mine the sentiment and classify you have positive or negative sentiment. Policy text analysis. So some language models can be trained to take in massive amounts of text and come up with a summary and a unbiased opinion on it, right? So rather than having a human read through hundreds of papers of text, you let the AI summarize it for you in a quick and faster option, right? You can also use this for cultural understanding to brief you on the country's cultural norms. Okay, I can use this as an educational tool to speed up the comprehension of that country's or the economy's pledge. Okay, protocol and etiquette briefing is also as part of an educational tool. Public diplomacy as well as negotiation. Right? So there are a lot of things, and that is only large language models, right? So ChatGPTs, Google Bard, and those are already available for us. Okay. Next is computer vision. Right? It's a different branch of AI wherein we use information stored in images, the JPEG files, the PNG files, and convert that into useful information. Right? So here we use facial recognition, heat maps to determine which parts of a specific supermarket are where eyes are landing upon, and of course talk about sales. So as you see here, you also talk about the height, weight, and the classification of whether it's a male or female in a subway station. Okay. In UP, we have an AI applied to security purposes. So here we use computer vision to identify the make and model and the plate of the car that enters our grounds. So there's no need for the security guards to list them down or to ask for credentials because we have this automated, right? Heat maps again shows the relative movement of people in an office setting. So if you're talking about a consul office, we see which part of the office are heavily clustered, so you can improve or add space on that area. Okay. So again, for computer vision, we can use this for facial recognition, satellite image analysis. We use AI to automatically detect, here in the Philippines basically, to automate rice fields to estimate the amount of production for the Department of Agriculture. So if you have a satellite, if you want to image if you want to analyze a certain part, because it's so big, you use AI to automatically scan and read data from satellite images. Augmented reality, it's almost a new technology coming from Meta. If you want to use a holoboard to interact with the environment, right? And movement and gesture recognition. Again, this is tied towards the crucial behaviors of a specific country, and to see what is appropriate for them might not be appropriate to us, and of course, use that diplomacy for our advantage. Okay. Another very interesting AI technology nowadays is AI generator, content generator. Okay, so here it's a mid-journey app that, based on a prompt, you'll be able to generate artificially created images. Now, do you think that this looks real, but they are AI generated, right? Over the past year, there were apps that were invented to create actual videos from just command prompts. So you can see that a prompt, teddy bears swimming in the ocean at San Francisco. So you can see the frames of that video that you thought that is a camera, a real life video, but it was actually an AI generated text. So in essence, you can create a lot of media for budding scientists. But again, we'll talk about ethics later on. Robotics, right? Robotics is also a big chunk of our AI research, right? And it's also a main component of AI, wherein we use actual robots to do the manual part. Okay, here we see AI do robots do construction. Again, they can do this for 24/7 as compared to a person that is limited to 8 hours in a day. Some are here 3D printed buildings. Okay, a Chinese company developed 10 houses in just 24 hours by building 3D printed buildings. Here we also use AI in developing standards in an office space by utilizing the building code of the Philippines. We by just changing the width and the length of the office, you'll be able to come up with the optimal layout for your office, given standard codes. Okay. Then also we have NLP. NLP is kind of bit related to large language models, but as you know, we all already interfaced with chatbots. Okay, chatbots could be of two things. Can be made by if-then-else statements in programming, which is a little bit of AI, but a more approach nowadays is when we use generative AI to be the AI chatbot. Okay, so AIs can be used to create chatbots that can help clients with questions and provide guidance on solving issues. Okay. We also have 𝘑𝘢𝘭𝘢𝘰. Okay, 𝘑𝘢𝘭𝘢𝘰 is an AI-powered paraphrasing tool that will improve your English. If English is not your first language, then you can use 𝘑𝘢𝘭𝘢𝘰 to sound smarter. Okay, I confess I use these tools to make my PowerPoint smarter, okay, and to make my English more English. Okay, but again, it's just there to help our day-to-day lives. Okay, when I talk to my students, I say, you have to start with something and use AI to improve it. Okay, you cannot use AI to make everything for you and then use that as a submission. You have to start something. You have to start your homework. You have to start your thesis project. But you can use AI to improve, like 𝘑𝘢𝘭𝘢𝘰. Okay, or you can use AI to inspiration. Okay, to jumpstart what would you like to talk about in your position paper, and then you fill in the blanks. Okay, there should still be manual interventions. Okay, we have also predictive AI, wherein we talk about climate change. We use Doppler radar data to predict thunderstorms in the air. This used by our National Weather Service. We also use predictive AI to determine whether or not you'll default in your loans. Okay, by identifying factors that affect your ability to pay, you can use AI to to predict whether or not you'll default in your loans. Okay? So if you talk about predictive AI, we can use this in identity and fraud detection in our consular services, as well as outcome prediction. If you have a very complex problem, you have a thing that you want to predict what if scenarios, then you can use predictive AI to predict what will happen in the next few steps. Okay? So I also like to talk about infrastructure. A lot of people say that AI is very easy to do, but you still need infrastructure to solve AI problems. Okay? So you need the hardware, the software, and even the internet elements to empower all of your AI solutions. Okay? It serves the backbone of any AI platform, providing the foundation of most of the machine learning algorithms that, of course, use vast amounts of data. Okay? So you need a lot of data storage and management opportunities. You need computing resources. As I mentioned, you need GPUs, not for games, but for actual solving your AI stuff. Data processing frameworks, the actual robotics and equipment to do AI, machine learning frameworks, and then ML ops. ML ops means for you to deploy the actual AI system. Okay, now, some people say that, oh, I have built a very good model, but that model is in your computer. So you have to deploy it for the actual end users to use it. So that's what we are also pushing, that gone are the days that you have to build it theoretically and academically, but you have to deploy that system for the actual users to use. Okay, so that's one thing that we have to do, and that is ML ops, or machine learning operations. Right, as I have mentioned, we have 32 A100 GPU NVIDIA units. This housed in our National Engineering Center. But even Meta claims to invest in 350,000 GPUs. Imagine the amount of the power bill that they are spending just to generate this high-level AI stuff. And this is also available if you want to go through online via AWS, okay, for some amount of money, right? So these are our AI laboratories, our high-performance computing labs, and then as you can see, the NVIDIA servers are installed, okay? And as you can see here, a lot of AI platforms are available to crunch all the data. We have data from social media, data from sensors, from GPS, even cell phones and text data from the internet, okay? Even your healthcare data, as well as the even your purchases data. All of this go through all of the AI that you see here for, of course, consumption of the companies. Right? So towards the end of my lecture, I would like to discuss what should AI be in some of the principles that we should take a look when we talk about AI for diplomacy, right? There are 5 main components for the responsible use of AI. First is human agency, oversight, and accountability. The second is fairness, non-discrimination, and collaboration. The third is explainability, interpretability, traceability, and transparency. The fifth is safety, security, and robustness. And lastly is the well-being of society and the environment. Let's go to this one by one. For human agency, oversight, and accountability, any AI should be driven by ethical considerations and respect for human rights. Okay? The technology should serve the best interests of the individuals and society as a whole, avoiding exploitation of the users. Human-centered design should be at the center core of AI, focusing on actual user needs, values, and experiences to ensure ethical alignment. Right? So that's our first push. We have to have AI that adheres to this recommendation. Data governance and privacy should be given the utmost attention. And accountability is crucial. So this is the thing that regulation would come in. Who is accountable if you create an AI and you were harmed from that AI? Is it the one who generated the AI? Is it the one who's hosting the AI? Is it the one who's actually using the AI? Right? There is no regulations on that. So we have to start the discussion. Who is lawfully bound by these AI solutions? And hopefully, the AI will not make a mistake to harm our place. So there should be discussions on who will take responsibility on this. Even I don't know the answer to that question. Okay, protecting sensitive data, you have to have encrypted access, and of course compliance with our Data Privacy Act of 2012. Next is fairness, non-discrimination, and collaboration. We have to build an AI that is unbiased towards any demographics. So for example, if we use the current LLM models nowadays, they might be biased towards Western data because they used Western data to train the models. When we use these algorithms, we have to minimize what we call bias, okay, because they are trained towards one demographic. For example, if you want to minimize gender bias, we have to have balanced representatives from male and female data sets to actually feed the model. Okay? So again, it should be fair, non-discriminating, and there should be collaboration. To the extent possible, AI should be assessed for potential bias and discrimination, especially in the data models and algorithms. Collaborative procedures should be in place to proactively identify, mitigate, and remedy these potential harms. Right? The third one is explainability, interpretability, traceability, and transparency. I have two boxes here. One is a black box, one is a white box. So when I say a black box, you cannot explain per se in terms of practical sense what is happening. Mathematically, yes, because there are just equations. But why is that ganon? Why is that way? That's called a black box model. And a lot of the AI models nowadays are black box models. And you cannot, even the inventor of the ANN cannot explain what's happening inside these neural networks. The second one is a white box model. Okay, these are what we call legacy machine learning algorithms that are explainable. You can see here what type of person most likely buy a personal equity plan for a bank. So in essence, if you have these rules, you can profile a customer and sell him or her the personal equity plan, and then you have a guaranteed level of success. Because you have the rules. It's a white box model. The problem is, AI tends towards the black box model. So it's very hard for the creators of the AI to actually explain what's happening inside that AI model. Okay? So the development, deployment, and use of AI should build trust between users and the systems. And individuals should be informed as much as possible if AI is used in that service. Okay? The method should be explainable, interpretable, or traceable to the extent possible. As much as possible, we have to explain it. But if not, we just have to be honest and say, we are using a black box model because it's very accurate. Right? It has that KPI. Okay? Interpretable models should be preferred. They'll be constructed to achieve the same level of intended performance. And in high-stakes situations, AI explainability is a must. So if you're talking about the life and death of a person, AI explainability is really a must because we value human lives. Okay? So in essence, transparency of AI is there to help guide us in our in development of AI solutions. Safety, security, and robustness is the fourth one. All systems must function in a secure and safe way, and potential risks should be continually assessed and managed. Protective systems must be robust, as of course, we must not compromise the safety and security of our users. And robustness, okay, you have to make sure that it is future-proof. Okay, I have seen reports that ChatGPT's responses are going down. I mean, the accuracy is going down, and sometimes you get garbage nowadays because, of course, the deterioration of the models that they have generated. So again, you have to build robust systems to maintain the same level of performance throughout its life cycle. Of course, you have to comply with legal and regulatory compliance, although here in the Philippines, we still lack a lot of these regulatory issues, and hence we have to start discussing these issues, right? And here I've seen the challenges and risks of integrating AI with regards to security by Bano et al. Just published last year. Okay, so for bilateral diplomacy, there seems to be a risk of misalignment with national interests, sensitive information leaks, and inequitable access to AI. Multilateral diplomacy, complexity in coordination, data privacy concerns across borders. Economic diplomacy, the AI might be biased towards the ones that created it, and misrepresentation of economic data. There's also cultural diplomacy, the loss of cultural nuances, potential for cultural misrepresentation. Public diplomacy, where again we have to fight misinformation. Security, we should not be over-reliant on AI for security decisions. There's still, because it's high stakes basically, we have to have human interventions there. Environmental, we again must have accurate data to mitigate data inaccuracies leading to ineffective environmental policies. Humanitarian diplomacy, like ethical dilemmas in AI. Digital diplomacy, we have cybersecurity risks, ethical challenges in digital engagement, and even conflict resolution. Some AI may lack human empathy, where it cannot be actually replaced by an actual human being. Okay, so I can give you the references to this, and it's a good read to see how AI can be applied and what risks involved are there when we apply this to international affairs. Right, so when we talk about sustainability, the UN is already pushing for SDG goals, and AI sadly is a very power-consuming enterprise. If you talk about 300,000 computers running at the same time, 24/7, that's a very huge electricity bill, and it might eat a lot of the power requirements that, again, it's already our power grid here in the Philippines is already constrained to handle additional electrical load. Okay, there should be responsible data practices, sustainable infrastructure, life cycle assessment, and of course reduction of pollution in terms of heat. Well, kasi if you train these models, it'll be very hot and it'll be very loud. Okay, we have a server farm in UP, and once you pass through that, it's very loud, and you see somebody's running a AI model at the back. Okay, and we should avoid the AI hype. Right, we have to educate everyone that AI is not the thing that will kill us all. It is a technology that will help improve our productivity. Okay, it's not meant to replace us. It'll never replace us, but it'll only help improve our productivity. So one example here is that a company, a business process outsourcing company here in the Philippines, claimed that they have not fired anyone because of AI, but they have produced a lot more because of AI. So in essence, that is the thing that we have to educate, that given the same workforce plus AI, you would be more productive rather than reducing your workforce and have the same level of output. All right? So that's already going against some ethical norms of AI. Okay, seek human oversight, responsible AI certification, of course, reporting of misuse of AI. Okay, so for the government's role, we need to set some legal frameworks for uncharted waters, also define ethical guidelines, enforcing compliance, research and innovation, internal collaboration, while the industry's role is to, again, promote responsible AI. Self-regulation is a thing that they need to practice. Proactive risk assessment, consumer education, and collaborations with governments. Okay? So let me end with a final principle. For the very reason for its use, deployment and development of AI should be for the common good and benefit humanity in general by fostering inclusive economic growth, social equity, sustainable development, enhancing of human capital, political empowerment, enrichment of culture, elevation of education, and enhancement of well-being, while lastly, protecting the environment. Right? So here are some plug, shameless plug for we have a Masters of Engineering in AI. Everybody is welcome to apply if you want to learn AI and apply it to your domain, especially in foreign affairs. It's 2-year full-time and 3-year part-time professional master student, so no thesis required, just have to apply, generate an AI like ChatGPT. But it'll take years for you to generate your own because we only have 32 GPUs. Okay, 31 units is required with an applied capstone. If you want to actually break the barriers of AI theoretical foundations, then go through the PhD. It's a new 3-year or 4-year part-time research-based PhD program. Basically, these are our first programs in the country that offers AI. With that, invest in AI now. And again, thank you very much for inviting me. And I hope you were able to learn something from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Hala, for sharing the depth of your understanding of the topic. We certainly learned a great deal from you. There's a lot of terminology to chew on. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we open the floor to questions, comments, reactions, or observations. So if you have ideas, now is the time to formulate them. Thank you for keeping them concise so that we can entertain a few. Kindly approach the mic at the center and state your name and affiliation. We are delighted to have with us members of the Diplomatic Corps, Your Excellencies, colleagues from the DFA and FSI and other government agencies, academe and media, who for sure are eager to share their insights and learnings for today. Also joining us are online participants from the Facebook live stream. Okay, just to kind of whet the appetite for broader discussion, let me take the moderator's prerogative by pulling that one thread that needed a little discussion. I would like to start off by building on what the speaker said, on how Dr. Hala considered AI in his presentation, that AI can be a tool in diplomatic work. As a diplomatic instrument, AI may be useful in the daily operations, such as in the provision of consular services. But I would like to add that AI also presents itself a distinct subject matter in the diplomatic table. And this is pertinent in policy considerations. AI is actually entangled with other issues which were already mentioned by Dr. Hala, such as security, ethics, and governance. Recently, we had a roundtable discussion on this with DFA UNEO. Moreover, AI as a variable for research is very useful in understanding international relations where diplomacy plays a crucial role. Dr. Hala also mentioned that in a part of in your presentation that AI, that the human brain, the AI which AI attempts to replicate, has many functions that we do not understand yet. The complexity of human intelligence resulting in varying use of the term underscores the challenging in arriving at a common definition of artificial intelligence. Given this, the Department of Foreign Affairs, if it is to maximize the potential of AI in its diplomatic work, must have an operational definition of the term and have guidelines, as you have mentioned, on its responsible and ethical use. But before I ask Dr. Hala to comment on this, we shall collect a few more comments, remarks, questions from the audience, perhaps 2 to 3. Yes, please. Please state your name and your affiliation. Thank
Hello,
you.
good morning. I'm Benedict Prodon from 𝘑𝘌𝘶𝘨𝘯𝘰 of the Philippines University. I would like to ask in the context of consular affairs, would it possible to be integrating AI in consular services? For example, a lot of our OFWs have document requirements, and one of them is employment contract that must be authenticated and verified by our embassies and consulates. Do you think that in the future, AI can be used to streamline this process instead of manually authenticating and verifying them in order to have efficient process abroad? Or are we still far from that future po?
Yeah.
Thank you. Any more questions? Before you take that first cut? Yes, please.
Good morning. Thank you so much for your time and your presentation. I'm 𝘑𝘌𝘨𝘯𝘬𝘯𝘓. I'm a researcher with the FSI, and I was wondering, as researchers, we understand the value of data-driven policies. So I was wondering if there are any, if you're aware of any programs or any initiatives by the Philippine government or any other governments we could learn from about how they're integrating artificial intelligence when it comes to data analytics or data consolidation, especially in terms of, for us as Filipinos, we have a lot of Filipinos abroad, so are there ways where we can use or artificial intelligence has been used in collecting data in relation to our foreign nationals as well? Thank you.
I see a hand at the back, please.
Good morning po. So for my question po, I've noticed two challenges po kasi. One is the adoption to AI and the other one is the regulation. And when it comes to regulation, as I've seen some developments in international level and in regional level, I am less anxious about it. However, I'm more anxious about the AI adoption or development since the ASEAN Plus 3, I think they released a report that said that generative AI will exhibit uneven impacts, and even though the DTI already have provided a roadmap and the recommendations that provided, I've observed that all boils down to education and upskill of workforce. Those things will take long term. So other than those things, what are the other ways that we could do to supplement the roadmap? Yun po. Thank you.
Dr. Halong, you may take the first cut.
Okay, so in terms of applying AI into consular affairs, there are various levels of digitalization. Okay, so there's automation, there's data mining, machine learning, then AI. Okay, so once we have mentioned in terms of the requirements for RFWs, like example contract validation, that in itself can be applied into data analysis and a little bit of AI, wherein you can train the AI to determine whether a contract is a fake or not. And they have to put in some factors there that, okay, this is the list of all valid contracts, this is the list of all invalid contracts, and then let the AI automate the validation process. So in essence, in theory, it will speed up the process. But again, you need to have equipment for that. You need to have the compute resources to build the actual solution. So in essence, for me, I'm using my industrial engineering hat here. For you to improve the entire process, you have to simplify it first before you automate it. Okay, so the first question is, do we still actually need to validate contracts? Or if you have an old contract, maybe that can be used as a precursor for a faster lane, for example. So there are engineering principles that we can apply to basic government services. In essence, AI is just one of the solutions that we can apply. And then there are a lot more ways that we can solve it. So in essence, yes, you can use AI. Yes, there are other tools that can further improve this. And my old professors say, you only need sometimes common sense to improve a basic process. And that's not hard to do. Oh, the standard definition of AI is hard to come by nowadays. Why? Because the AI technology is very fast evolving. When we started with AI in 1997 in our laboratories in UP, we were the only ones who were talking about AI, and we just simply say that the generation of machines that mimic human intelligence, and that was good enough for us. But now we are talking about computers, we're talking about robots that actually do human intelligence, even cars that do human intelligence. So in essence, we have to generalize our definition of AI, and there might be new technologies that coming in over the next few days that might be considered AI because it's so revolutionary and it also mimics our intelligence, but it might be quantum in nature. So if we define AI, we just simply say that if there is a component of it that it makes decisions for us in lieu of actual human intelligence, then we might consider it as AI, and then that could be part of the regulations that we need to think about.
How about the comment on the other AI initiatives from other government agencies?
Oh, okay. In terms of the other initiatives and the data required, first off, government needs to, again, automate its processes. A lot of our processes, like our commission audit, actually still use paper. So no matter what AI you use there, it's still a slow process. You still have to move to the digital environment. So we have to use or capitalize the digital infrastructure to generate the data that's needed. Okay, there are some agencies that already start developing these data initiatives, like the Bangko Sentral of the Filipinas. UP in general is already automating a lot of its processes. And apart from automating it, you have to also store data. One good example here is the Philippine Statistics Agency. They have a lot of data. Of course, they are the statistical organization of the Philippines. They have this data warehouse that stores the data about the demographics of the Philippines, which in essence a prerequisite for a lot of our research. So UP is also in talks with them to generate a national data warehouse, data commons, where we store all our data there for actual research purposes. All right. So in essence, hopefully that could come into fruition, and because AI needs a lot of data to be useful, hence we are still in the state that we have to build our systems to gather data and have to build systems to store this data for future use. And in essence, we are in that stage yet. AI might be considered to be premature, but they can be a non-trivial AI. Certain special problems that can be applied because there's already available data, and this still is a monumental effort for the government really to push the use of digital infrastructure initiatives. Hopefully, gone are the days now do we use paper to get reimbursed.
We have another question from the diplomatic corps.
Yeah.
Sure, please.
Can you hear me well? My name is Fabricio. I'm from the Embassy of Argentina, and I have a question regarding the multilateral fora where it's discussed. So I was working in multilateral before, and we discussed this topic within the WTO 1998 framework, the Working Group on Electronic Commerce, which hasn't had any success in the past decades. And there's the joint initiative on electronic commerce, and we talk artificial intelligence within this framework. And one of the main topics within this framework is the free flow of data, whether data should flow freely from, let's say, the 117 million Filipinos straight to California, where can it be processed in the best way possible, or should it be restricted in certain aspects in certain ways, so data from Filipinos is developed in the Philippines and you develop tools that can be later on exported or perfected in the Philippines. So is this the right discussion to have regarding the free flow of data and the implications for the development of a strong domestic industry related to artificial intelligence? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Your Excellency. So I speak for in terms of the first the data privacy law. A lot of the provisions of our laws state that government data needs to be handled within the Philippines, right? So whether it will be personally identifying data, whether it will be bank data, official bank data for Filipinos, again, owned by the government, should be housed in the Philippines. So that is, of course, a restriction that we have to honor, basically. And there are some circulars from the DICT that provides the implementation that you have to have your own server in the Philippines, which is not very economical because we're a very hot nation and we need cooler spaces and a lot of electricity to maintain these data services, right? So that in itself would pose a problem for having a free flow of data. Now, for me, if the data is used to improve our lives, okay, the end user needs to be informed, of course, that your data is to be shared with this entity. And that entity also needs to adhere to the laws of the Philippines, then it's okay, right? Whether it'll be here or abroad or whatever, wherever the processing of the data is, then it has to be, the laws of the land has to be followed, okay? The problem also, if I like to share that some of the data is really not existent. If you talk about some provinces here that do not have connections to the internet, they have a very hard time sending the data who was born on this date, who's the current, who has the highest attendance in terms of our councilors, our mayors in terms of their council. So we don't have that data here because they are disconnected. We have silos of information in our local government units, but there's no push really to connect everything and to have a centralized database of everything here in the Philippines. It's kind of sad because for you to build AI solutions, you need all of those data to how much palay is produced by this area, how much land is available for economic processing zones. So we don't have that information. It really hinders the free flow of data, and we are still a long way to go to actually envision a free-flowing data, even from the Philippines to other partners, to really to crunch the numbers and make sense of it all. Yeah, so it's a long way to go.
Thank you. In the interest of time, okay, right. One last question.
Thank you. Good morning, Dr. Halo. My question naman po is so concerning AI governance naman po. So as mentioned, the Philippines is lagging behind when it comes to AI development and use. So I would like to ask, is it the same for Southeast Asia? Are we, for a more direct question, what is the future of AI governance in the region? And are we seeing that Southeast Asia would be at par with other major players around the world? Thank you.
Okay. Our neighbors are way ahead in terms of developing some AI regulations. And the government is really investing in this. So Malaysia and Thailand, we have government sponsoring bills and putting money into researchers to actually build AI stuff, right? So Singapore, as we know, is really the top country in the ASEAN region, and they use AI every day, even in basically traffic mitigation, doing AI in their policies, in their economy, in their supply chain management. They're there. Here in the Philippines, unfortunately, we're still in the process of talking about it. There is funding from the Department of Science and Technology, but it's still lacking. We need a lot more. Of course, investments in equipment. So if we are to be at par, remember that the companies in the US are already investing in a lot of GPUs. As I mentioned, Meta is procuring 350,000 GPUs. And the Philippines does not have that initiative yet. So we also need to have supplier relations with the suppliers of these GPUs, which is NVIDIA and other stuff, to actually get GPUs here and bring it here and use this to generate AI solutions. So in terms of scale, we're very far off. We have to have investments in AI. We have to push our AI agenda in the Philippines, to push research, to produce output, and of course, improve our day-to-day lives.
Thank you, sir. In the interest of time, we shall end this discussion. And thank you, sir, for answering the questions in a tight context of time. I hope Dr. Hala has brought some clarity to our concerns and questions. Everybody has a page and a half of notes, so thank you, everyone, for your active participation. I hope this was stimulating to everyone. Now we officially end this discussion. Please join me in thanking our speaker. And thank you again for your active participation. At this juncture, we would like to call on the Acting Deputy Director General of the Foreign Service Institute, Dr. 𝘑𝘢𝘭𝘢𝘰, to present a certificate of appreciation and token to our speaker. Ma'am. Allow me to read the citation. The Foreign Service Institute awards the Certificate of Appreciation to Professor Eugene Rex L. Halaw for his invaluable service as speaker at the Mabini Dialogue Series, the use